Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm your Dizzy Dude, Adam Tilted, and today is Thursday, January 11th, 2018. I'm going to talk about depression today because I was really depressed yesterday, and it was difficult, and a lot of people tried to help. But I realized that there's a lot of confusion about what depression is and what it isn't. I want to try to clear some of that up so that you can help your friends that have depression or yourself. Because depression is very common. 15 million adults in the United States experience depression each year, and 3 million new diagnoses each year. So depression is a big deal. There are 300 million cases of depression globally. But we get that confused with normal emotional fluctuations, and that can be really frustrating for people with depression disorder because often we feel misunderstood. That doesn't help. First, before we talk about depression, I want to show you something that I found today that's pretty cool. While I was looking around doing some research, I found this website, dosomething.org. This is pretty cool. If you want to do something, but you don't know what to do or you have limited resources, this has some awesome ideas. And basically what you do is you just drop down this little cause thing and you can pick which of these you are interested in, how much time do you have, and then what would you like to do. And then it shows you all of these campaigns that are set up. This one just has one that you can contribute to. So I wonder if I can, let's see if I can pick up something else. See here, if I pick education and I want to donate something, there are all these choices here. Some of them have a bunch of things to choose from. And so this is a good place to go if you're looking for something to do. Maybe you don't have money to spend, but there are things that you can do. Like, for example, this puzzle party thing is do puzzles with the kindergarten class in your community. That doesn't cost anything but time. I wanted to show you that because I think that's pretty cool. I also want to show you my YouTube channel. Please, please, please subscribe. Look, I have 91 subscribers. 91. I need 100. I need 9 more. Are you going to be one of those? Please, please, please. Because then I can pick a better channel name than that. Because who's going to remember that? Not me. I need your help to get that custom URL, and you can do that by subscribing to my YouTube channel. You can also support the show by becoming a sponsor. That link is in the description as well. More thing before we talk about depression, I want to tell you about this thing. I know I've talked about it before, but gosh, I love it so much. It has so many uses. This is the polishing bar. You see these stripes, kind of greenish gray here? That's the same mud that's in that blue-green mud mask that I use. And the red is small, very fine pieces of bark from a tree that acts as a very gentle exfoliant. If you get greasy hands, or from working on your car, or your hands get really dirty from working in the garden, this will get it right off. And also, if you have problems with your complexion, you can use this on your face. Because remember, it's the same thing as the face mask. So if you use it on your face, it'll help exfoliate your skin. Plus, it'll restore all those minerals. And I use this to wash my whole body about once a week as a little treat to myself. Let's talk about depression. Depression is a medical condition. It's not an emotion. Sadness is an emotion. And sometimes people who are depressed feel sad, but not always. There's been an overlap in these definitions for a long time. A lot of people think that, oh, you're depressed. That means that something happened that made you sad. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is a mental illness. It's a clinical diagnosis. It's a disorder. There's something wrong with the chemical makeup of your brain or how your brain processes the chemicals or something like that. Depression can be treated. The usual treatment routine is a combination of medications and talk therapy. Medications, I've got mixed feelings about medications. However, I do have to say that for depression, the medications did help. Part of the problem I found was that I knew I was depressed. I knew that I wanted to not be depressed, but I was so overwhelmed with my depression that I just couldn't take the steps I needed to take to do anything about it. So the medication helped stabilize me a little bit, just so I could start that process of working on on me and finding out all of those psychological reasons that contribute to the depression. That's through the talk therapy. I found that I need to take medication every day just to keep my chemicals in balance. And that's probably because I take a lot of medications. Remember, I have HIV, I have chronic migraines, anxiety and depression, and a balance disorder because I have a damaged auditory nerve. When that results in nausea, headaches. Oh, I'm also anemic. So I got a lot of stuff going on. My body is kind of like, what? I had to just kind of come to terms with the fact that right now, at least, I need the meds because the deck is stacked too high against me. I've got all these other meds that are messing me up, so I need to counteract that. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? It's like take one medication to counteract the side effects of the I know, it's a big mess. Unfortunately, that's the only option that I have right now. Women, by the way, are more than twice as likely than men to suffer from depression, but that does not mean that men don't get depressed. We do. Society has kind of conditioned men to keep that kind of stuff to ourselves. So I don't know if this women are more than twice as likely statistic is based on some sort of physiological difference between men and women, or if it's just that women are more likely to seek help. I don't know. If you know, let me know. The World Health Organization estimates that by 2030, depression will be the second leading medical cause for disability, second only to HIV and AIDS. Depression can be very debilitating. For example, yesterday, I was struggling a lot yesterday. I just felt nothing. I felt nothing. I wasn't sad. I wasn't happy. I wasn't scared. I was nothing. I just felt completely blank. Sometimes that's how my depression manifests itself. Other times I do get upset, cry for no apparent reason. Everybody responds differently to depression. So how can you help? If you have a friend who has depression, what can you do? Let me start by talking about some things you shouldn't do, because these are what a lot of people do to try to help me, and it's actually the opposite thing to do. It's the wrong thing. So the first of all, please, if someone is depressed, don't ask them, what's wrong? What happened? What are you upset about? Don't ask that, because there's probably no reason, or the person doesn't know the reason, because remember, depression is not an authentic reflection of your emotions. It's a disorder, so things are going wrong. I could be having the greatest day of my life and still be depressed. So don't ask what's wrong. Don't say, cheer up, be happy. I want to punch people in the face when they say that to me, because it's not about that. And by the way, if you thought I could just turn it off, don't you think I would do that? I don't like to wallow in depression. Don't say that. Now, what you can do is just make sure you tell your friend or your loved one, whoever it is that is suffering, make sure that they know that you love them, that you are there to listen. Don't try to fix the problem. Just be there. Let them know you're there. People who are depressed may not seek you out, but they need you just the same. Keep an eye on your friends and make sure that you let them know continuously how much you care for them and how much you enjoy them, and that you are there to be a support whenever they need it. That's really the best way to help someone with depression. One of the things that I experience is I don't like feeling like I need to be taken care of, so I don't ask for help when I'm depressed most of the time. I'm just not capable. I just can't. I depend on people close to me to notice when I'm depressed and to take action. And they do, because I've educated them on what I need. Depression and illness actually are very closely related. People who experience depression disorders are more likely to have other physical ailments. Of course, suffering from a long-term chronic illness or chronic pain, those things can also make you more vulnerable to depression. So keep that in mind. However, depression is also linked to creativity. Some famous artists that suffered from depression disorder are Beethoven, John Lennon, Edgar Allan Poe, Mark Twain, Sylvia Plath, and Georgia O'Keeffe. Many, many more. Lots of people have depression, deal with it every day. So it's not life-ending, but it is life-challenging. I encourage you to learn more about depression and anxiety if you have someone in your life who deals with this on a regular basis. It can be scary for people. At first, it was really scary for my husband because he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to help. If you don't know what to do, ask. And if the person can't tell you, do some research. There are a lot of resources online for what to do to help someone who's depressed. And if you are depressed and it's getting really bad, please do your best to reach out to someone. Anyone. It can be me. Send me a message. We can talk. I'll listen. But find someone. The rest of you keep an eye out for your friends. This is a hard time of year just because it's gloomy and cold and tend just generally not to be as social during the winter because the weather's nasty. That can drive people like me into hermit stage, which is where I was yesterday. Let me know if you have any questions or comment, or if you want to talk about this more, you can send me a message. That's it for today. I am your Dizzy Dude, Adam Tilted. Until we meet again, don't forget to look up.